The old folks called it Hollow Woods for a reason. They said the trees sucked the sound right out of the air. They said it was a place where people went missing, never to be seen again. But we were kids. We didn't listen to old folks' tales. Mia wasn't scared. Not really. She told her friends she wasn't scared. It was just a story. A silly story told to keep kids out of the woods, to keep them safe. But at night, the story felt different. The wind howled like a hungry wolf outside her window. And Mia would think about the hollow woods. She would think about the people who had disappeared, and she would shiver.
Who's up for a dare?
What kind of dare? Are you crazy? You know what they say about those woods.
I'm in.
The woods were alive with shadows. The setting sun cast long, eerie fingers of light through the dense canopy of leaves. The air grew heavy, thick with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves. Mia shivered, pulling her jacket tighter around her. She could hear her friends behind her, their hushed whispers doing little to break the silence of the woods. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, sent shivers down her spine. They walked deeper into the woods, the path barely visible beneath a carpet of fallen leaves. The light grew dimmer, the air colder. Mia couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, that something was following them.
Let's not.
They stumbled upon it just as darkness enveloped the woods. A small, dilapidated cabin, half hidden among the trees. Its windows were dark, like empty eyes staring out at them. The silence was broken only by the creaking of the trees and the distant hoot of an owl. But Ryan was already pushing open the creaking door, his flashlight cutting a beam through the darkness. The air inside was stale and cold, thick with the smell of decay. Cobwebs hung from every corner and dust covered every surface. It was clear that no one had set foot in the cabin for years. Mia couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't alone. The whispers started subtly, a faint rustling sound like leaves skittering across the floor. At first they dismissed it as the wind, but the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They seemed to be coming from the walls themselves.
Did you hear that?
Emily's voice was barely a whisper. Chris nodded, his face pale in the dim light of the flashlight. Mia felt a cold dread creep up her spine.
The whispers, they seem to be saying something, warning us.
Leave. Get out while you still can.
Mia wanted to run, but her feet felt like lead. Panic seized Mia as she realized she was alone. 1 minute she was huddled with her friends, listening to the terrifying whispers. The next they were gone. Vanished. The flashlight lay on the floor, casting eerie shadows that danced across the walls.
Guys,
Mia called out, her voice trembling. Only silence answered her. A cold knot of fear tightened in her stomach. Where had they gone? What had happened to them? She stumbled back, her hand reaching out to steady herself. Her fingers brushed against something cold and damp. She recoiled with a gasp, her heart pounding in her chest. The whispers seemed to be getting louder now, swirling around her like a vortex of fear.
the door creaked open, revealing a small dusty room. It was clearly a child's room, with a small bed tucked into the corner and a faded rug on the floor. But something about the room felt wrong, off. The air was heavy with a cloying sweetness that made my stomach churn. On the wall, drawings were pinned up, made by the hand of a child. But these weren't happy pictures of sunshine and rainbows. These were dark, disturbing images, twisted figures with hollow eyes and grotesque smiles. The drawings seemed to pulsate with a life of their own. I felt a cold hand grip my heart. I had to get out of this room. I had to escape this nightmare. But the door slammed shut behind me, the latch clicking into place. I was trapped. Panic surged through me, hot and suffocating. I rattled the doorknob, but it wouldn't budge. I threw myself against the door, but it was no use. I was trapped. The whispers seemed to be mocking me now, their voices filled with cruel amusement. I spun around, my eyes darting around the room, searching for another way out. But there was none. The window was boarded shut, the fireplace cold and empty. I was caught in a cage of my own fear. The air grew colder, and the drawings on the wall seemed to writhe and contort, their silent screams echoing in my ears. I sank to the floor, my back against the wall, my eyes wide with terror.
Time lost all meaning. Minutes bled into hours, hours into what felt like an eternity. Mia huddled in the corner of the room, her arms wrapped around her knees, her eyes fixed on the drawings that seemed to watch her every move. The whispers were a constant torment, their voices weaving a tapestry of fear and despair. She had screamed until her voice was hoarse, cried until there were no tears left. Now there was only a numbing cold that spread through her body, stealing her hope, her will to fight. She was lost, alone, forgotten. The cabin had become her prison, the woods her tomb. She knew, with a certainty that chilled her to the bone, that she would never escape this place. The hollow woods had claimed her, just like it had claimed so many others before her. The legend of Hollow Woods lived on, whispered around campfires and shared in hushed tones. The story of the lost teenagers swallowed whole by the woods became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the ordinary. No one ever went looking for Mia and her friends. No one dared. The woods had claimed them, just like they claimed everyone who dared to venture within their depths. And in the child's room of the dilapidated cabin, the drawings on the wall seemed to pulse with a sinister life of their own, a testament to the horrors that lay hidden within the heart of Hollow Woods. The whispers continued too, faint but insistent. They echoed through the empty rooms, through the trees, through the very air itself, whispering their secrets to anyone who dared to listen. The legend of Hollow Woods lived on, a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed.